Hey there gardeners, Chris here from Steading. I've got everything here that I need to make my own biochar and I'm going to show you how. Obviously I have personally discovered this and no one has ever done it before. Sorry, is that going a bit hard on the internet angle? Obviously it is going to be full of eventually poo. And not that I'm full of poo with this story, but yeah, we're going to put some cow dung in there to enrich our biochar in the long term. However, I've got to go wrangle that from my parents' place because they've got some cows from an agistment. For us today, we're just going to look at, I guess you'd say, the kind of more accessible stuff that I think more people are going to have. And yeah, hopefully this will give you a bit of inspiration as to doing this yourself if it's relevant for you. And there is a little bit of argument over how effective this stuff is, how it works, and as I guess just a bit of a disclaimer, the old biochar is actually considered kind of a strategy for capturing effluent from like cow farms and things like that, like dairy farms, where they have a big problem where obviously the cattle, when they're milked, for instance, they're all pooping in the same area, and then you get kind of a wash off, which is fertiliser rich, and that runoff can be not great for the environment. And so apparently the old biochar, charcoal, was put down to absorb a lot of that fertiliser and you'd end up with this kind of pretty good product. So I don't know how much truth that is because, you know, as with everything on the internet, who really knows? But we're going to have a go today. So your main ingredient is charcoal. And what we've got here is, this is actually just out of the fire pit. So we've got a fire pit set up so that we can have a controlled and safe fire in the garden area. And then what we've also got in the bucket under it is actually all the charcoal, but also potash from our actual fireplace. And so this is quite a few months worth of charcoal. There's another box here, so there's quite a bit of it, and that is going to be our building blocks. I'm not actually sure whether putting the potash in is a good idea. So potash does have some uses in the garden. However, once it rains, it kind of gets washed away. I think one of the other uses for potash is that you can put it on your cabbages to stop caterpillars and stuff like that. That's my understanding. And in previous years, I've separated the charcoal from the potash just with a little sieve and used them in different places. But what we're doing today is we've got this little old bin that's from the previous owner that's not being used. I actually did in the past use it to collect grey water, but I didn't find that a very successful technique, just because even putting it just on the grass, it was killing the grass, and I'm using environmentally friendly, supposedly, detergent for washing the clothes. So, obviously don't breathe that stuff in. We've got that, and what I'm gonna do, we do need a bit of water, and so we're gonna chuck a little bit of that in there to help settle all that potash dust. And then what we've also got here is more charcoal from our fire, which actually has a little bit of dirt mixed into it, because that's how we were putting the fire out and retaining a lot of the charcoal. And then the previous times we've done this in a much less organised fashion, we've just done it in the storage box. We've chucked the fertiliser in, added water, let it sit for a couple of months, and then just dug it in under stuff, under garden beds and things. So my bin is actually looking surprisingly full, which is a little bit of a worry. We have here a pretty balanced fertiliser, pellet fertiliser, organic fertiliser. I'm going to chuck quite a lot in, probably a kilo of that stuff, because one of the things you need to keep in mind with the charcoal is that apparently what you want to do is you want to charge it with a whole heap of fertiliser, which is very, very important, because it's a real sponge for nitrogen, and that means it's full of the good stuff. And if you don't do that, it's going to leach all the good stuff out of everything around it. And then what we also want to do is we want to build up like a little bit of an ecosystem, if we can get it to work, by adding green scraps and like some cow manure and stuff like that. So it's very, very alive. And again, when we add it to our soil, it is going to give that life to wherever we've planted it. And hopefully the end results will be really, really good. Now we've got one more container here. Now, to be honest, this much here is a couple of fires worth. My bin is full to about here, which I did think about going and buying a larger bin, which would hold significantly more. However, because we have this bin and it's not being used for anything, it just seemed like a smarter idea to use what we've got. Sorry, that dust is not ideal. And the next step is we need to add some green cuttings, which I'm gonna have to wait until I'll check in the kitchen, because obviously we've got a green bin, but at the moment we're splitting our kitchen scraps between our compost, our worm farm, and it'll be this as well. And I do have some set aside, but obviously that's probably a little bit secondary to trying to get that fertiliser that we put in to absorb into our charcoal. And the reason I say that the potash might not be a great idea is because I think it's very alkaline, and if something's too alkaline, it can actually kind of kill everything in there. And I think we're going to need quite a bit of water, and I'll probably add on another bunch, so maybe another kilo or so of that fertiliser, and we'll just see how we go. Now, this was inspired by Desert Garden Steading, I think it is, Desert Garden Centre. And I'll put the correct name up on the screen, and you can kind of hear that draining through. And yeah, this is just going to be my attempt to do this. Obviously, I've put in about probably 16, 18 litres of water, whereas I think this is like a 90 litre bin, so we're going to have to put quite a bit more in. And then the other thing that we need to do is we need to stir it to try and get everything kind of mixed together. But this is a really good start. And basically, I mean, worst case scenario, if all the information about biochar is really just made up, we're still going to end up with a charcoal, which is actually kind of like vermiculite, so it's like a very airy soil addition. And as long as it's got some fertiliser in it, it won't suck the fertiliser out of everything, and it's just a good soil addition. And I will say, where I've put it in the garden, it's done a good job. So I've been fairly impressed with it. It's very, very hard for me to judge whether it really made a difference, but anecdotally, I think it seemed to. And if we go well with this, and if we have more fires, so we're making enough charcoal to warrant it, I'd probably go a bigger bin. And yeah, so overall, I feel like this is a pretty cool project, because one of the things is if you're looking at buying a biochar, it's real pricey. Whereas if you're able to get your hands on a lot of these materials naturally, like the charcoal, why not just make it yourself instead of paying some ridiculous amount of money for someone else to do it and then just kind of chucking a small handful because that's all you can afford. Make a big batch of it, you'll be laughing. That's the idea anyway. Let's see how we go. And importantly, keep the lid on, because I don't want any birds or possums or snakes or rats or anything getting in there and then getting stuck, because then I'm gonna have to come and save them, and just keeping the lid on is the more responsible choice. And we did put a bit of gravel down at the base of the bin, because obviously it's gonna have a bit of weight in it, and I need to just make sure it doesn't fall over or anything like that. And that's a particular issue for us because we're on a hill, everything's on a slope. So yeah, now it's time to clean up all this mess that I've created by doing this, but I've moved a lot of these buckets that were sitting around all different parts of the property, and as a result, the garden will be a bit cleaner as well, which is great.